countdown on WhatsApp. 2,
Okay.
1.
Well,
I guess we're live.
Saying 6 minutes.
Oh well, heads up.
Okay.
Okay, folks, welcome to all of you. I'm guessing that we are live now.
Ah, that's how you know we're live, when the YouTube ads start.
Okay. So, welcome back to Mala Mala. For those of you that were with us this morning, we found, or Pete and Bruce found, the Piccadilly female leopard, who is in screen now. And she had 2 kills in a tree behind us. The one was a Waterbuck calf, very young Waterbuck calf. And the other was an Impala. And we sat with her, and eventually she went and hauled the one carcass out of the tree and took it into this bush that we're sitting next to now. She's been hiding for a while. We came back here earlier this afternoon, she wasn't here, and upon our return she's now lying in the shade. So we're guessing, or we're hoping, that as it gets cooler she might return to the tree and feed off of the second carcass that's still hanging in the tree. And I will introduce you. We dragged Mike Kirkman out of the office. He didn't join us this morning. And Peter's now babysitting. So Mike is with us on the comments today. And then we've got Yaku driving us, and then myself, Gareth. And I will introduce you in a little bit. I just want to see if there are any comments coming through yet, Mike.
Alright, so welcome back everyone. There's Jazzy Taz that missed the morning, but hopefully opinionated. Giraffe Girl, Ruday, Miss Anamandris, welcome to everyone. Lots of familiar names popping up here.
And if you have a look, she's quite alert now. Just before we went live, she was actually lying flat out. And then some, what was the alarm calling there?
Guinea fowls.
Guinea fowl. There we go.
I think they're just coming to sleep.
Oh. So the guinea fowls are making a bit of a noise, and she stuck her head up, and she's been listening intently ever since. First prize would be if some other predators came to investigate. We could maybe smell these carcasses, and we'd certainly get some interaction then.
Alright, so lots of people, lots and lots of people joining the chat. So for those of you just catching up, this is the Piccadilly female leopard. We're just here on Mala Mala Game Reserve, and we are exactly in front of the Mala Mala main camp. So yeah, if you're going to look on Google Maps to find out precisely where we are, just look up Mala Mala main camp, and you'll see we're just across the river from there. And then this is the sister of the Sibuya female, that some of you are probably a bit more familiar with. But when I say sister, I mean the litter mates, so not older, younger sister. They actually grew up together. And we recognize her because she's got a 3-3 spot pattern, and her sister, the Sibuya female, a 2-2 spot pattern. And welcome back to Starlings. Dylan Morgan. Yes, it is the same leopard from this morning. She's got kind of almost behind us, behind the camera anyway, is her Waterbuck calf kill that she had there. And the Impala kill she had, I think it's in that thicket next to her there somewhere. Bear Delaware is in the building.
So the time here is 4:45. Dylan Morgan, is that Mike? Yes, he finally came and joined us today. Hello, Julio. Hi, Tony. And Petra Mari Bosman again, welcome back.
welcome back to Rizard as well. So Miss Anamanda's asking, have we seen her new cubs yet? So that's a no. We actually just had a little tour around the area where we suspect she has the cubs. We saw her tracks coming and going from the Manuleti River. Sorry, the guinea fowl just saw her there. But yeah, her tracks were coming and going from the Manuleti River, so we're just having a look around there, but no sign yet.
And her day asking, can leopards have the same identifying spots? Yes, we have quite a few leopards that have 3-3 spot patterns. And then we got to use different techniques to help us identify them. This particular leopard, the Piccadilly female, is a very dark leopard. You can see from the back of her neck and her back. Out of all the females, yeah, she's probably one of the darkest ones. She's very golden, and here you'll see it nicely. Especially look at those back legs there. The spots are quite dense. Oops. Don't want to.
If you're angry bird, is any territorial male around? So not really. It used to be the Senegal bush male in this area, but at the moment there is a chance we could see one of the sons of the Msogweni female turning up, which are her nephews. They're the only male leopards that we're really seeing regularly in this area.
And then another way that helps us identify these leopards is the areas that we work in. They are very territorial, so we have a good idea of which leopards we may find just based on the area that we are working.
Gareth, your phone is really clear.
Why, thank you. You're getting lots of compliments on the phone.
Yeah. So folks, there's a few of you, just to carry on with what Gareth was saying about the spot patterns, if you go on Mala Mala's Ranges in Isolation series, you'll see when we talk about certain leopards, we actually include a little chart that you can maybe pause it and have a closer look at how all these leopards, we identify them and how they relate to one another. I think the most appropriate video there is the mistaken identity one, where we do make a bit of a blunder, because even though we all know the spot patterns, we didn't actually check. We're just going by what we thought.
Tony Johnson asking, are we in a safari van, or are we us streaming from inside a camp? No, we are just across the river from camp, and we are in a Land Rover, an open game viewer. And then Christine Prescott asking the age. So the Sibuya female and the Piccadilly female were born in late December 2013. So they're just over 6 years old now. Hi Robin. Robin Sewell joining us again.
Oh, little wave there. So Robin is our two-time Where Are We champion, but today it's not very fair, because to answer another question about where we are in the reserve, so we're actually exactly opposite Mala Mala main camp. So we're in the, I want to say, the northern half of the reserve and on the western side of it. Chris Luckett wants to know, Gareth, how long do they hide for usually?
Well, I think that depends on the individual leopard. You get some leopards that are very relaxed around our vehicles, and they tolerate our presence, like this one. And she doesn't really hide from the vehicles. I think this morning she just took the kill into a shady spot and went and fed on it there. But in other cases, we have some leopards that we believe would have come from Kruger National Park, because they don't have too many vehicles around them there. that are very nervous of the vehicles, and they don't like to show themselves whatsoever. So just to get a glimpse of a few spots of them can be quite rewarding, and that's for the most part. There's very few areas in the world where you can view leopards this relaxed. For the most part, you are going to just glimpse a few spots, or rosettes rather more accurately.
Did the leopard notice you? So Jamsha, she certainly is aware of us, she just doesn't care about us. So this leopard, she grew up on Mala Mala. When I first started here 2002, I used to view her grandmother or great-grandmother, I think, and so we've been viewing this family of leopards for generations now. The first time I saw her, she's a little bit smaller than her head is now. Her and her sister, the Sibuya female, just not far from here, in fact, about 2 kilometers away. And I think it was Pete that actually found them. He was chatting to you this morning, if I remember correctly. He found the den site first. But yeah, so she's grown up with us around. We just a normal part of her day.
Miss Anamandris waiting to see the Maxim's male. Laugh out loud. We're also laughing out loud here.
He's a treat. His territory is the smallest of any male leopard I've ever known.
Yeah.
But we're a little bit too far out of his normal range. Tyler Funya asking, do we ever interfere with them if they are being attacked or killed or injured? So no, partly that's because we just here to view. We don't interfere with animals. We don't feed them or disturb them any more than necessary. But also, it's just, say she was having a fight with lions. They found her and were trying to steal her kill. There's no way physically, even if we wanted to intervene, there's no way we could actually do that without probably causing things to get worse and almost certainly being killed ourselves in the process. If the animals are endangered, then we will help them.
Hold on, Yaku. Okay.
Let's trade roles.
Yep. Mike's taken over the camera work. We'll just see where she goes to for now.
So folks, so she's walking kind of into the sun here. Hopefully it won't be too bad.
So Yaku's just going to reverse and get us into a position if she does.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Does decide she's just going to get us into a better position here. So there's a few people asking
so she's just having a look out and around. I'm just going to zoom out a little so you can see where we are. There is the Mala Mala main camp. She's actually just opposite the main part of the camp and the swimming pool. So you need to be an owl to follow this leopard all the way around. Alright, so Gareth and I are going to trade back. Christine Prescott quickly asking how old the cubs are. We don't know, Christine, but probably 2-ish weeks.
No, I've lost her.
See her?
No.
Oh, there she goes.
Where do you see her? Oh, there, in through the
Gosh,
reeds. Okay, folks, so she's walking through the reeds. She might be walking down to the river for a drink of water. I'm going to try and zoom in on her. It is quite difficult to keep track of her, especially with this phone. She might come out into the clear now. Yeah, there she is. Okay. So we might have to, if she crosses the river, might have to just call Pete to tell him to keep an eye on her. So she's walking directly towards camp.
Station the Piccadilly female is not up and mobile west towards the Sangha.
Just trying to think if we can get down there.
I'd imagine she's going to have a drink and maybe come back.
So folks, we're just trying to keep an eye on the leopards. I've taken my eye off of the comments here. But just to go back through some of the comments. Does the noise of the cars disturb then digital tennis shoes? So no, it doesn't. You can see she's actually walking right towards our main camp as well. She lives around here anyway. So she's seen plenty of vehicles and that. We're not an issue in her life, and she grew up with us around. So we're not a problem at all for her. And then thank you so much, Tony Johnson. It's our privilege to be able to show you this animal as well. And Near Yadi asking, please zoom the camera. So Near, we are filming on a Huawei cell phone. It's not quite a camera, so there is no zoom other than what we can. If Gareth zooms in too much, you're just going to see pixels.
Right now, we've actually lost visual of the leopard altogether. So I'm going to keep it on a wide angle. She's walked into the reeds center of frame, and I'm guessing that she's gone down to the river to have a drink of water. So we're not going to go anywhere for now. She'll most likely come back. We're hoping that she comes back. It might take a few minutes, might take longer. But I think until then we'll just keep on talking for now, and I'll just keep it zoomed out a little bit. Maybe she does walk into frame and one of you guys can spot her from home.
And Petra, we do not know where her den is. We suspect it's somewhere in the Manyeleti River, so not anywhere super close. I want to say maybe a kilometer or two away. And then, yeah, I think Gareth did answer some of your folks' questions about why did she leave the kill. So I think she's just gone to have a drink. Like us, if you've had a big meal, especially lots of meat or protein really, and it has been a pretty hot day, so she's just thirsty. I think as soon as she's done drinking, she'll come back. And then Tammy A asking, what are your favorite big cats? So mine is 100% the lions. They're a lot easier to see in this type of situation than a leopard, which are just magnificent at being camouflaged. Normally with the lions there are more of them, so they're just easier to find in the first place. And lions are very rock and roll, where
when they're not sleeping. Yeah.
Leopards are more your pop stars. They look very pretty, but lions are where the action is.
I beg to differ from Mike.
Gareth, I'm sure, would differ wildly.
Lions can be rock and roll, maybe 0.1% of the time.
But it's an amazing 0.1%.
Yeah. But leopards definitely grab my attention more. So how about you, Yaku? Let's introduce you to the driver for today.
Good afternoon. I'll go for leopard.
Leopard. So leopard 1, lion 1. Mike Kirkman.
No, it's this millennial generation that like the pop star vibe.
I'm not a millennial or a pop star for that matter. I do like leopards.
Sure. So it's asking, it's strange with 2 kills and not seeing hyena. So it is a little strange. I'm sure the hyena will turn up. I think she caught it a little bit later on in the day, and it's also, we're going into winter, so the mornings are pretty cold at the moment, so that kill was kind of refrigerated, if you will, so they haven't been smelling too much. But where we are on the riverbank, I've got no doubt that another predator, whether it's hyenas, other leopards, perhaps lions, turn up, which is also why she doesn't sleep right where the kill is, because anything following its nose to the kill was going to come across her if she was right next to it. So they normally put it up the tree or something, or stash it away, and then go and lie about 20-30 feet away, so that they don't get ambushed and caught by surprise if they're napping. Jez McGarry, does she have cubs? So we think so, we just don't know where the den is, but if she does have cubs, they're about 2 weeks or so old, so we won't even try to look for them until they're about 6 weeks. So check back with us in a month.
And I'm just going to show you a little bit of...
Tyler Lee saying the cat is listening, you can keep your lion. So that cat is known as Meow Meow. He's my cat at home in Johannesburg. I'm sure he's loving hearing my voice over TV.
Mike, did you name him? Just...
No, I did not name him, and he has another name which is not suitable for broadcast.
Okay. So folks, I just want to give you an idea of what it looks like here, and maybe just tell you a little bit about this area, because those of you that have been watching the live streams may have noticed that a lot of our live streams are right in front of camp. And that is because the area I'm pointing to now, I know we're looking into the sunlight, but there is the confluence of 2 other rivers that join the Sand River, center of screen there. We're currently looking at the Sand River, and those 2 other rivers are the Mlowathi River and the Manyeleti River, and they both join at the same point just in front of camp here. And a lot of these animals like using those rivers to walk down to get to the Sand River, where there's water flowing almost all year round, and generally it's a high traffic area, so the game viewing right in front of camp here is quite intense. That area there is known as bicycle crossing, and if I were to say pick one spot on the property and say this is the spot that most animals walk by or most sightings occur at, I would put my money on bicycle crossing.
Yeah, I think that's why the camp was built here. Like they just picked the best spot in the best region.
Yeah.
So just to go back to the questions, is it true there are far more leopards than lions? So it's actually hard to say. They're probably about the same numbers wise. Certainly here, well, we keep a pretty good game report on that, and I think there we average 25 to 30 leopards in a good month. The lions on Mala Mala, it's between 50 and 60, so certainly on Mala Mala there's more lions and leopards, but not by that much. And then the hyenas probably just as many as the lions and leopards together. And then, is it rare for the leopard to leave their kill? So she does have her kill, or one of their kills, in a tree. She's got a Waterbuck calf in a tree, and then an Impala that was last seen on the ground in that thicket where we started the stream from. So she hasn't really left it. The kill is in a tree. I presume she ate the Impala. She's just gone for a drink, we're hoping, and then we'll come back soon. Is Rizal still a ranger at Mala Mala? So yes, indeed she is, Tim. She's just at home driving around in a quad bike, getting it stuck in the farm dam.
Then maybe just to follow on a little bit from that question about lions and leopards, you get far more leopards that do live outside of these reserves than lions. Just about everywhere in South Africa you can find leopards, but lions are generally confined to within the borders of these game reserves, and that is because of the secretive nature of leopards. It's a lot more difficult to spot a leopard than it is a pride of lions, and they are highly adaptable cats. So I think the densest population of them in the world is actually in Mumbai city, if we are to believe BBC Earth.
I feel like David Attenborough is someone I'd believe anything
Yeah,
that says.
you can. I believe it. Yeah.
And hello to Bradley Toment, Safari Architects. Piet Dupree, kyk vir julle op via laptop op 'n big screen TV. Awesome. Very lekker. So Pete, I think then you've got the best chance of spotting this leopard somewhere in the reeds there. You can see how many pixels you can pick out. Hello from San Diego. Here's another interesting question. If you could be a prey animal, what would you be? If you could be a predator animal, what would you be?
Oh.
Prey animal. If the whole vibe was not to be eaten, I want to say a giraffe, though they do come to a sticky end sometimes. But I think they have a far less exciting life than an impala would say. Predator, I don't know. I think a big crocodile might not be a bad bet. Just get to chill on the beach all day. Go fishing from time to time. It's the worst ways to live your life.
Except for when the rivers run dry, then you're stressing, hey? How about you, Yaku?
So maybe a hippo.
For a
As
prey
prey.
species.
A hippo and then a leopard as my predator.
That's a good choice.
Yes, I wonder if she's not just had a drink and fallen asleep at the river here.
That is very possible as well.
Hello from Indonesia. So folks, for those of you that are just joining us and wondering why you're viewing Mala Mala Camp from across the river, so we're with the Piccadilly female leopard. She has a small waterbuck calf kill from this morning stashed up a tree behind us. We just watched her walk down to the reeds. You can't see the water itself, but I think she just went to go and have a quick drink. Well, I'm hoping it was a quick drink and will come back. Alternatively, she went for a long drink and is now lying in the reeds there in the shade. Just where she is, it's a bit of an awkward place. You can't quite see it, but there's quite a sharp drop off that we can't really get down and around to where she is. That we'll give her another couple of minutes and see if she pops out again.
Fancy Cheetah saying she'd be an elephant. That's a good choice. I think I'd also want to be an elephant.
But the question was prey animal. I don't know if elephants qualify.
I'm sure in Botswana there's a pride of lions that eats elephants. Or was at least. Saw it on a movie once.
Was it David Attenborough? Because otherwise I don't believe it.
It was actually Derek and Beverly Joubert.
John Joe, do you remember the old Harry's camp? So yes, I do. went there once, and I've been to it nowadays where it's a wildly fancier place than it used to be.
Okay, so Joe, according to research done, the highest density is in Yala National Park in Sri Lanka. Second highest in South Luangwa National Park. Thirdly, the confluence of the San and the Sabi rivers. I think you should tell Sir Attenborough that, Joe.
Yeah, so that Yala, as I understand, I might be wrong, I think it's like a little rocky outcrop that's kind of in the middle of a city, and every day the leopards go and spend their day up on that rocky outcrop, and at night go and hunt in the city. So I think it would depend when you are counting them. Is it at 12 midday or 12 midnight, whether there's how many leopards there are in that little protected area.
But thanks for that, Joe. We appreciate you looking that up for us.
Joe is definitely, he's not quite David Attenborough, but I trust him nonetheless. He's right up there with him. Hello from Greece. Tony Johnson, making your Friday afternoon. Glad you're enjoying it. And Annie offering Nadav a telescope. Molten Shadowlocks wants to be a hyena. Just be all. Which female and which male leopard is our favorites? Sure.
Tough one, hey?
The male leopards, I want to say one of the sons of the Msakweni female, the 3-3 one that we've been seeing a bit more regularly, is an up-and-coming leopard. The females, I don't know, maybe the Three Rivers female. So she had quite a cool story, but so she is the youngest sibling of this one, the Piccadilly female. Their mom was killed when she was about a year old. So I'm just going to get Gareth to twist the camera around. Her mom was killed over... where's the thing? Over there somewhere. Sorry, I'm not good at the pointing on the phone thing. But then after that, this young female leopard, bit of an orphan, is able to survive and kind of taken up a territory around Rattray's camp. So I'd say she's my favorite. Nadav asking where in the screen are we looking, Gareth?
Sorry, Nadav. I'm trying to actually focus on this elephant here. It might be a bit blurry. It's just in front of the...
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
Just in front of one of the rooms there. Maybe I'll just go wide again and we keep on looking in the area of the Piccadilly female.
John Joe asking, do you remember Cholula? So yes, indeed. I was very lucky when I started working here. We used to see him all the time. And we knew him as the Rockdrift male. Cholula was his screen name. But he's certainly one of the most famous leopards that we had at Mala Mala. I believe there's a documentary, Living with Leopards. And
Beauty and the Beast? Is that
no, I don't think he was in Beauty and the Beast. I'm trying to think what the name of the other documentary was now. But yeah, one of our most famous leopards, also National Geographic cover. Christine Prescott asking, did she get killed by a lion? So yes, she did. She got killed by the what at the time we were calling the Avoca males. Now we know them as the Southern Avoca males to distinguish them from their younger brothers. But yes, so we we found her just after it happened, sadly. But those two males killed quite a few of our leopards in, say, a 4 to 6 month period. Really disrupted our leopard sightings for a while. Survival Studios. This channel makes my day as well as provides me a reference for my new game I'm making. Is it a computer game? Otherwise, well, if so, I'd be quite interested. So, Ken Smith, how often do these large animals end up in camp? So pretty often. The elephants, it's just, I want to say it's just normal, especially in winter. They're there every day. The leopards, a couple times a week perhaps, and then sometimes the lions, hippos, pretty much every night on the lawns. If you go into Malamala's channel, you'll see there's a couple of clips there where we show you the animals running through the camp, or the lionesses anyway, hunting an impala, running through the camp. Bond, James Bond. So either leopard, that was filmed by Derek and Beverly Joubert in Botswana. Stalking leopards, now that's it. So you have jogged my memory, James Bond. But the documentary was called Stalking Leopards, that featured Cholula. Robin, Sewell and Joe making fun of me. I will be sure not to water your plants anymore, Robin. And Annie is saying we are looking for a needle in a haystack. Yeah, it's pretty much right. So where you can see that bird flying, more or less there's where the leopard was last seen. Sorry folks, so this leopard, she is not really playing along. I'll just give her a little time to see if she comes back.
So I wonder, maybe it's an idea, and I'm just going to
go to the causeway.
Yeah, maybe go to the causeway, but I was actually going to say maybe we should just wait and see if she does come back and then go live again. I don't know what you guys think in the chat room there.
Welcome to Where's Wally Safari Edition. Yes, it's pretty much exactly right. Mr. Punisher asking why did the lions attack and kill them? I'm presuming you mean the leopards. So it's just a competition thing. So not so much territory. Territory is only between species and normally between animals of the same sex. So like this female leopard only worries about other female leopards. She doesn't care about the males and how they define their territory. Obviously she wants to know who her male leopard is, but she's got nothing to do with that. But the lions just want to get rid of potential threat to cubs in the future or potential food competition. All the predators will kill one another if they get a chance. John Joe asking, you knew Mr. Wallater? Yes, I did meet Kim. He's sort of a friend of a family friend. I think Gareth, you know him, don't you?
Yeah, so Kim's, I think he's currently in Botswana, in Zimbabwe, filming hyenas. If you go on Instagram, you can see he's quite active at the moment with his young daughter and wife, and they are, busy getting to know a hyena clan there. If you know Kim, you'll know that he gets up close and personal with these hyenas.
So Tyler Lee saying we will just drive with you guys. So I think everyone is happy to stick with us, I'm guessing.
Oh wait, there she is. Just spotted the needle in the haystack.
Oof.
Okay, let me try and zoom in on this. I'm waiting for Mike and Yaku to see her.
Oh, I see her. So folks, this is a time when Gareth normally flips the camera around to himself.
Yeah. Okay, my apologies if that does happen, but thanks for making me aware of that, Mike. Okay, she looks like she's coming back. I wonder, can you all see her on the screen there? I guess there's a bit of a lag, so we're going to wait for you all to comment. It's a beautiful cat.
So Robert McLean asking, how does one book accommodation? So I think Nadav just answered you there, but you're welcome to go onto Kruger Sightings page and have a look from there. And sorry folks, so just for those of you that are joining us, this is the Piccadilly female returning back to her kill. She is quite blurry on the screen because we are filming her on a cell phone, because that is all we had when the world shut down. We didn't have time to go and buy a high-end streaming camera, but I think Gareth's camera has done a pretty good job, all things considered. And the reason we can do this is because we have cell phone signal here. It's one of the few places on the reserve. We're only about 10% of Mala Mala is covered, which is why we can't really give you a time for the sightings or when we're going to live stream, because we just don't know. We need the animals. Well, we need to find the animals in the first place, and then invariably our second question, if someone sees something, is do you have cell phone signal there?
Okay, so Yaku's just going to reposition us.
I think the Piccadilly female
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just watch her for the time being.
was just building up the suspense there on her way back, waiting for everyone to be on the brink of giving up before she popped out of the grass.
Now the other thing that she did drag the one carcass down into this thicket a bit earlier, and I'm hoping that she's finished feeding on that, and I'm hoping that she does make an appearance again, and that she doesn't lie at the bottom of the bank and maybe still feed on that carcass if there is still any left.
Everyone had their patience pants on, which is hopefully paid off. I hope you didn't take them off yet, because we're still waiting for it to walk up the bank now to where we are. Then a question from Christine Prescott, how's the battery life on that cell?
We're looking good for now, and we're still 65%.
Yeah. So just to kind of run you through our setup we've got, Gareth is filming on his cell phone and I'm watching the YouTube stream, which is kind of weird because it's got a 20-second lag. So what you see and when I see your comments is kind of after everything is happening. So yeah, I think we can try.
Yeah, we're just gonna see if we can see around any of these bushes. Maybe she's in the open.
This is not cooperating. On the other side as well.
around the...
spike form there, but I don't know if there's space though. Around.
Yeah, around. So if you look center of frame at the moment, to the right of that sunset is the northern end of the Drakensberg mountain range. Very clear skies here at the moment. Very beautiful. Okay, I see her there. She's busy feeding on the Impala carcass. Yaku's gonna make a plan.
So in fact, so you can't quite see, but we're right on the edge of a kind of an embankment or a cliff here. Maybe Yaku must just grab the camera.
Yeah, I think
I can do that.
if you go a little bit forward, yeah, I think we're good actually. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in on her a bit. Okay, do you want to try and rest it there? Okay, so Yaku is going to just try and set up this camera for a better view for all of us.
Alright, so we're going to try and catch up with these questions.
Bond, it's a good suggestion about getting the solar powered charger. At the moment we can't really, I don't know if we can even buy that kind of stuff in South Africa.
Yeah, so we're on quite a severe lockdown. Fortunately for us, we went on the lockdown quite early, but because it's so strict, we not really able to get all sorts of orders and that. So in fact, we were just trying to set up the camera, but hopefully you can see her really well now.
Yeah, that's good.
So just to, all right, if you can zoom in a little bit.
Back at you sometime.
So Christine Prescott, also for everyone watching, so she's got this Impala kill here, that one that she's eating, but behind us in the tree is a Waterbuck calf. So Waterbuck is one of our bigger antelope, but the calf she's got is probably the same size as the Impala, and that she has up the tree. If you want to go back to this morning's live stream, if you go into Kruger Sightings channel, you'll see this morning's live stream, and you'll actually see when she had both of the kills in the tree. And then opinionated, yes, it definitely was worth the wait. So we hopefully gonna get to see her a little bit more now that she's kind of occupied with feeding there. Where she is also is very well hidden, so unless something were to walk right on the bank with her, it's not really gonna stumble across her. And then yeah, just the question, is she pulling off the fur? So yes, she is. So like us and like most, well, pretty much everything, she can't digest that fur. So she doesn't want to eat too much of it because she will have to cough up a fur ball at some point. So she's going to pluck off the fur as much as possible before eating the meat. And the other very important function that does is actually brush their teeth as well. So kind of biting through all that fur is scrubbing all the plaques and whatnot off. It's actually one of the, she's moving around quite nicely. It's one of the quite distinctive things if we find a kill and we found all the fur plucked off around it, there's a pretty good bet that it's a leopard. They're a lot more fastidious eaters than most animals. With the lions, they would have just detonated this impala, every lion running and grabbing a piece. They're not too phased about plucking it neatly. This Animandrus, we all know what to do if we run out of toothpaste in lockdown now. Please let us know how that works out for you. And then Ahmed, I think it's something is full, but it's fulfilling her wild habit. So she doesn't know when her next meal is coming. So she does have the 2 kills, but they are very opportunistic. I don't know which she killed first. But if something walks past her even now while she's eating, she'll still try and catch it. And also, we are pretty sure, 99% sure, has just had some cubs in the last 2 weeks. So she's kind of eating for 2 or 3, maybe 4. Most leopard litters are between 2 and 3, though I've never known a leopard to raise 3 cubs. But 2 is kind of a more normal number. She and her sister were raised together. The Cebuya female, they're litter mates. Does she still have suckle marks? So, I don't know, did you guys notice that this morning?
I didn't see that close. She's definitely still lactating, but I couldn't see if she had suckle marks.
So they're greedy, says Shrede. Not really greedy, it's sensible. It's kind of the make hay while the sun shines attitude. Also, even though she's got this kill, or one of the kills up a tree, and she's eaten the bulk of this one, it's the best place or safest place to store her food is inside of herself. Because even now, if a male leopard or the lions were to come along, they'd still be able to climb up and steal that kill that she has in the tree and definitely get this one on the ground. But if the food's inside her, then the only way they're going to get at it is by eating her too, which for the lions is not completely off the table. And Survival Studios is correct. Leopards eat prey as small as dung beetle up to eland. So we had one of our male leopards we were talking about earlier, Cholula, or the rockcliffe male. He killed a young giraffe even. So they take some pretty substantial kills up in, well, he kind of had it in a tree, but I think the feet were hanging on the ground. And then her father, the airstrip male, we once found him with this enormous python, about, I want to say it must have been not quite 5 meters, but he had some of the python up in the tree, but it was so long it was hanging all the way down to the ground. Denise Mortlock, what is the smell like? It is not as bad as my brother. Denise Mortlock is my mom that can't resist chiming in. How long do they keep the kill for? Does it get a chance to rot and decompose? So she will keep it, or you can see it's actually almost done there. But I've seen leopards eating meat so rotten it's almost liquid. So they're not too phased by the smell or decay. Lawrence Jr. asked Gareth, is it possible for hyena to smell the impala?
Lawrence, yes, very much so. Hyenas have a great sense of smell. And now that the sun has gone down, the temperature is starting to get very cool here, and all of the cold or cooler air is going to sink into the river right in front of us. And that is all going to go downhill in the direction that the water is flowing, and that air is going to carry that smell along with it. And somewhere along the line, I'm sure there are going to be hyenas along this river, and I'm pretty sure somewhere along the line, some or other predator, whether it's a hyena or a lion or another leopard, may smell it and may come and investigate.
Miss Anamandra saying, love the sound of the name Cholula. So Cholula means he who walks in darkness. This is a very cool name to have, especially if you're a leopard. Or he who walks alone, depending on how you want to interpret it. It's the name of one of the roads here on Mala Mala that leads from Styx Crossing. And opinionated, so yes, the best place to store food is in your stomach, not in the fridge, so that you can feel opportunistic, feel better about the opportunistic lockdown binges. So having lived amongst these wild animals as long as I have, I also have the opinion that food needs to be in your stomach at all opportunities, which is why I have the big size uniform. Annette Lane, how far away do we think the den is? So in a straight line, 2K, 3K?
Yeah, I'd say 2 to 3 Ks.
Yeah. So we don't know exactly where her den is. We suspect the area, but not the precise location. Annie, yuck, what a description. How far is Mala Mala from Djuma? So we are south of Djuma. It borders onto us. So from here to there, where we are exactly now, is maybe 7-ish kilometers. But yeah, it borders onto us, I think. I'm not sure. There's quite a lot of properties that border onto Mala Mala, so I'm not exactly sure where their particular property is. But yeah, it's somewhere up there. The giraffe girl, Nadia, to look, press conference, schoolwork, or here. So I'm going to say here. Press conferences, they'll repeat it about 1 billion times on the news, I'm sure. Schoolwork is something that can always wait, unless you're under 18, in which case get back to work. Hello to Jay Candido. Do they ever lose teeth and get tooth abscesses, or is the Impala flossing effective? So it's actually a pretty good question. I want to say the dental hygiene in these cats is pretty good in general, but I'm trying to think if have you ever, we see them sometimes with a missing tooth, but have you ever seen one with an abscess or something?
No, I've seen more with missing teeth or broken teeth.
Yeah, also I can't actually ever recall coming across or one of the cats anyway with an abscess in its tooth. But yeah, broken teeth, especially with the lions when they get kicked in the face perhaps by a zebra or giraffe or something. One of the male lions, a Charleston male, he looked like a saber-toothed lion for a long time because of his broken tooth hanging down. But then, yeah, and I've known an elephant that had a sort of an abscess where its tusk broke quite badly, so the nerve was exposed. That one we actually caught it and tranquilized it, cleaned out the abscess, rounded off that injury and let him go, and he was fine afterwards. We don't normally interfere with animals, but it must have been intensely painful, because if I think about how sore toothache is on a human-sized tooth, imagine your tooth is about 8 feet long and about 12 inches around. So it must have been ridiculously painful for him, but he recovered very well from that. And hello to Iris Cavola's in the Atlanta, Georgia Dental Group. Did you drive that group, Akka? I think I do remember driving a Georgia Dental Group. Welcome back. And hello, Jay Candido. Petra, do we know if there's a book about the Mapocho lion? So there isn't, Petra, or not that I'm aware of, but there is a documentary called Brothers in Blood. I want to say the bulk of that footage was actually filmed here on Mala Mala. But yeah, there's no book that I'm aware of.
I was actually at one of the sightings where the Mapokos tried to take over the Styx Pride in that documentary. It was a very intense sighting.
And Mareka Hoffman, do they chew on the bones as well, or they leave them aside? So it depends on how big the bones are. So something like this Impala, its bones are relatively soft, so the leopard's just going to crunch. I don't know if you can maybe from time to time hear them crunching away. But she's also after the marrow that's inside of those bones. It's also very nutritious. So provided nothing steals this from her, I'd expect all that will be left is maybe the spine, the kind of tops of the ribs, and the skull. But all the other bones she'll crunch up and eat. Friday asking where do we get our food? We get it from Macro. And do we ever go out late at night like at 12? It depends what we're up to. We don't do it for filming, but we might occasionally do it for other reasons. Have you ever seen any leopard and hyena confrontations? So quite a few, but I'm trying to think if I haven't managed to film any. I don't think we've filmed any on Mala Mala's channel. I'm sure, I've got no doubt on Kruger later sightings there would be plenty of leopard hyena interactions. Normally though, the leopards just back away. They don't want to risk getting into a fight with a hyena. The hyenas are bigger, so it is something that they just can't risk getting into that confrontation. In Survival Studios, do we see leopard taking rhino or buffalo calves? So buffalo calves is something they do a little bit more frequently, and Pete, who was chatting in the live stream this morning, making coffee as well, he actually saw the bicycle crossing male leopard, which is this leopard's grandfather, if I remember correctly. They were in a sighting the one night, and he ran in and caught a newborn rhino calf. I wish that he had got it on film, but the leopard ran in, rolled over the calf, was trying to bite it to kill it. Pete actually thought it was a big warthog at first because they couldn't quite see what this leopard was stalking in the grass. But the mother rhino came and hit him, very luckily for him, with the kind of flat of her horn, not with the point. Otherwise, I think she would have impaled him. But she knocked that little rhino calf, the leopard right off her calf. The leopard ran off. Obviously, 2 tons of rhino wasn't enough to... Well, it was more than enough to get him rid off of the calf. But then afterwards, we saw that calf. It took about a month for it to recover. It did well in the end, but it was pretty shaken up and badly scratched at first. So we'd find it just lying on the road, kind of passed out, not looking too well. But yeah, all superficial scratches really. But yeah, it did survive in the end, but it was a pretty spectacular sighting nonetheless.
So Nadav just chiming in there. I think our first live stream on the Facebook page, the Three Rivers female was in a tree with a hyena at the base.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. And then Nadav's just posted another video there that you can go have a look at. I'm sure that'll be quite entertaining.
Sammy J just getting herself some coffee too. Lawrence Jr. wants to know, Gareth, do you hear animals fight during the night in the camp?
We do hear animals fighting at night during the camp. I think Gina hears it the most. He's got a couple of genets that fight in his roof just about every night. And he tells us all about it in the morning.
At length.
Yeah. So we do hear animals fighting in camp from time to time. Sometimes we hear animals being killed outside of camp. I know we heard the Styx Pride killing a buffalo in Piccadilly Triangle, which is behind us from camp one evening. Yeah, so it does happen from time to time.
Survival Studio is asking, is it true that honey badgers attack buffalo and other large prey by the crown jewel? So yes, it is. It's actually been documented here at Mala Mala, but long before video cameras were even a thing. But there was one honey badger that killed 3 wildebeest using that method one night, which is ridiculous and unnecessary, I feel. Have you ever seen a cheetah kill a lion or leopard cub? I haven't. No. I think it would be pretty unusual. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, but it would certainly be a very rare sighting. Though I've got no doubt that they would if it was a particularly small lion or leopard cub. So I'm not sure if she's pretty much done feeding or she's just moving around to get a better kill, a better position. Oh, there she's just lying down. I'm kind of surprised that there's no hyena that have turned up by now. I really would have thought there would be at least one now, but we're right by the camp, so you might be investigating the camp to see what tree meals are going there. Pauline Darris, what about baboon attacks? So the leopards are famous for catching baboons. I don't do it nearly as often as it's made out to be here anyway. But yeah, just about 100 yards from where we're sitting, one of the male leopards, the Newington male that we had here years ago, he killed a baboon, but in the process it mauled him so badly that he didn't survive that encounter. So it's not always the leopard's way. And then I'm pretty sure on the Dove channel there's a crazy sighting of a baboon that's carrying a lion cub around. I don't know what happened to the lion cub in the end though. But if you're asking about baboons attacking us, no. Meet Current asking how old is she? Did we say?
Just over 6 years old.
Yeah. Just over 6 years. I'd actually have to check, but I want to say, is it 2013? Maybe mid 2013. I'd have to check.
Yeah, it was December 2013.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So Nadav saying he's actually got 2 videos of baboons stealing leopard cubs, which is pretty crazy. Today it's a baboon the size of a man. But yeah, so I'm gonna say that it probably doesn't end well for any of those cubs that have been stolen by baboons. Baboons are pretty well known for eating little impala and bushbuck lambs and that as well. But yeah, I suppose fair is fair because the leopards do catch baboons too.
So folks, it's getting to that time of evening again. It's always, I feel like I always have to bring you this news, but it is starting to get dark here, and you know that when it does start getting dark, it turns very quickly. So we are going to be saying our goodbyes shortly, but just want to say thank you to all of you for joining us for this morning's sighting as well as this one, and thanks for being patient and waiting for her to come out of the reeds again.
So Adam Booth, what animal most gets you heckled up as a guy when you come into camp? If you have one quick story. So as far as making me or infuriating us, I want to give that one to the baboons who pull the thatch out of the roofs, make a mess in general, steal whatever they can. It's like living with gremlins. If it's to be scared of, I don't know, I want to go with buffalo. Those things very, very unpredictable and also hard to see on a dark pathway. To see a black animal at night, and you know that it's going to be aggressive.
I think Mike was telling us a story yesterday about having to dive into a vehicle to get away from a buffalo that charged him in camp.
No, my mom's watching, yeah?
Yes. So Denise, different Mike.
Yeah, so this other guy.
But I think I would have paid just to see Mike dive into the car.
It was a majestic dive, this guy that did it. He looked very impressive. Although, what animal would scare you the most in camp, Yaku?
Also a buffalo.
Yeah, I think buffaloes win for being the in-camp danger. But yeah, so anyway, just from myself, everyone, thanks for joining us again. You got like the double feature today with the morning and an afternoon live stream. Maybe we'll see what's happening here tomorrow as well. My guess is that there's not going to be too much going on. I think she'll be gone, hopefully back to her cubs. But you never know, maybe one of the other leopards could be there. But yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks folks. And thanks to Yaku for driving us today.
Pleasure.
Yeah. And we will see you shortly. If you want to catch up on more videos, please go and visit our YouTube channel, Mala Game Reserve's YouTube channel. If you want to see some of the animals that have been through camp, visit our Instagram pages and like and subscribe to all latest sightings and Mala Game Reserve social media outlets. If you want to know when we go live next, be sure to turn on your notifications. And until then, stay safe.